Hola, El Spaniardo here. Now, I don't think that I have to tell anyone how dodgy bank staff actually are, because I want people out there to remember the bank is just a legal entity, right? It's an idea. It is evidenced by a certificate of incorporation, but the bank per se, the name of the bank, doesn't actually exist, okay? It's a banner or a standard under which people, the staff, come together and operate, okay? And in return for doing that, they pick up various salaries. Obviously the top boys pick up very, very big salaries. Now we know that bankers, or some bankers, are not averse to the odd bit of fraud, lying, shenanigans and so on and so forth. But how many people out there are aware that within every bank, each member of bank staff, each man or woman, has a contractual obligation to protect you, the customer, and the legal entity from all acts of fraud? Okay, a contractual obligation. This is what the member of staff picks their salary check up for, to do the job. And this contractual obligation is part of their job. However, there are thousands, if not millions of people out there that have attempted to ask their bank, their local bank staff, their trusted local bank employees, questions about bank charges, PPI, missold loans, credit cards, mortgages, whatever the case may be. And more often than not, we, or should I say you, the customer, are treated with utter contempt. Now, as an ex-banker, which is what I am, I feel that it's time, especially given that politicians who are aware of these problems are doing nothing. I think it's about time that we, the people, actually taught these bankers a lesson. And as an ex-banker, I'm going to tell you exactly how we can do it. Now, first things first, I want you to understand from a concept point of view the line of thinking behind the game that I'm about to explain. So, example, the sun beats down on the earth, okay? There's lots of heat rays and sun rays beating down on the earth, and the earth absorbs all of those rays. However, take a magnifying glass and put that magnifying glass in front of just a few of those rays, which can now burn holes, right? And I emphasize the word focus, okay? Because as we the people have been raising all these concerns with the banking industry at large, bank staff as a whole are absorbing the pressure, right? They're absorbing the pressure. Hey presto. The one way that we are going to teach bank staff who believe that they can do whatever they want with no consequences and no interference from government, the only way we are going to teach these people a lesson and show them that what they are doing is wholly unacceptable is to remove the jobs from under the feet of those very same bank staff, right? It's to remove the job from underneath them. In other words, pull the rug out from underneath them. Now, how are we going to do that? Well, I think you know where I'm going to be going with this. So how would we put this into play? I was having a word with my mate, and he bet 50p, right, 50 pence, that this would work. And I bet 50p that it wouldn't, all right? So just think trading places for a second. So anyhow, how would we do this? Well, we're going to allow a month for this video to be out there so it can get shared around, all right? But I want you to imagine that once a particular bank has been chosen or nominated to play Boycott the Bank, we're going to boycott the bank. And everyone, no matter who you bank with, can take part. And this is how. Number one, imagine on a given day, with regards to a given bank, people start queuing at 7 AM in the morning outside said bank. Members, of the queue start taking pictures and uploading it to Twitter. So it starts getting passed around on social media. This is today. Here is a picture of the bank and there's a queue of people outside. And when asked why they were queuing, they responded, "We're drawing our money out." Coupled with that, on the said day, phone calls start rolling in to the particular bank concerned, all right? Because remember, if members of staff are handling what appear to be genuine inquiries which just drag on and on and on, well, if they're handling those types of phone calls, they can't handle debt recovery phone calls, can they? Because, of course, no one out there can get into trouble for making genuine inquiries. I mean, if you're thinking about, doing business with this particular bank, you might want to phone them up. Who can prove otherwise? Who can prove why you were phoning? Anyhow, by the time this is all over and done with, it won't matter, will it? So, the point being, I think you get the drift. A whole host of phone calls start going into said company. Members of staff then have their time wasted. They can't do their normal job. Now, coupled with that, people that bank there withdraw their cash. Go down to the branch and withdraw the cash. All right? You don't want the electronic digits because that transfer might not take place. You want the cash in your hand. Okay? Also, for people that have loans, credit cards or mortgages with said bank, that you just withhold one payment that current month. So once the announcement goes out and we have chosen and identified the bank that we're going to pick on and pick a fight with, then everyone just withholds payments, right? Whatever the excuse is, right? Seriously, Northern Rock keeled over within a couple of weeks, all right? So this isn't going to need too much aggravation on your part. So everybody join in. Now, I can remember as a banker, we used to play this game with other branches of the same bank. We used to call it phone bombing. I want the bank staff out there to understand that there is a fundamental principle at play here. All right, it's called trust. Now, people out there from all walks of life have trusted you, bankers. They've trusted you to be honest, to be knowledgeable about the products you're flogging, and if something goes wrong, to actually have the integrity to put it right without just trying to obstruct for commercial reasons. All right? But that's not the way things are playing out nowadays. And what was once deemed to be a profession of high integrity and of high value, as far as I'm concerned, certainly in these eyes, has turned into nothing more, and perhaps it never ever was anything more than a complete criminal organisation, as stated by MPs and MEPs. So, people, we know what to do. This is the pre-qualifying video. This is to let everyone know what's coming. All right, this game's play is going to come. It's called Boycott the Bank, and we're going to make a further announcement by way of video and by way of Facebook and social media, okay, in approximately 30 days' time. And everyone can play this game. It's fun for all the family, trust me. And I just want bank staff out there to know that with regards to this game, as I mentioned, my mate actually, this is not me talking, right? So when I've said all of this, this is not me talking. I'm speaking on the instruction of White Rabbit. Okay, so any problems with what I've said, you need to take it up with White Rabbit. Does that sound familiar, bank staff? Does that sound like something you'd say? Take it up with the bank, and the bank doesn't exist. So, very simply, this is not me saying this is my friend, all right? So I'm just relaying what he said would work, yeah? And I just want you to know out there, bank staff, that this was a 50p bet, right? In other words, me betting that this wouldn't work, I've placed a value on your collective jobs at the particular bank that is then chosen and nominated. I place a value on your jobs at the rate of 50p in total, which is vastly more than the value you placed on me and my custom and my property when I came knocking on your doors asking questions, all right? Because I was valueless and worthless to you. I meant nothing to you. But you at least mean 50p collectively to me. Anyway, more on that in approximately 30 days' time. Today is the 29th of January 2015. It's gonna be fun. Anyway, until next time, big love.
5 billion people died in 1996 and 1997. Almost the entire population of the world. Only about 1% of us survived.
Are you going to save us, Mr. Cole?
How can I save you? This already happened. I can't save you, nobody can. I'm simply trying to gather information to help the people in the present trace the path of the virus.
I grab the mic and start dropping topics. It's the artful dodger robbing pockets. The forgotten prophet, spitting the lost logic. Got a short fuse similar to bottle rockets. Overthrowing the Oval Office with social conscience. My slogans, the post tyrants, the most violent. Government watch list, cause I wrote the code of silence. Beneath the smoking sirens, they're selling drugs and weapons. With nuclear missiles that could end the world in seconds. pockets. That's the world that you enter from your front door. It's blood sport, we love war, the world is an uproar. Terrorism and poverty on the television. George Bush trying to perform the earth's exorcism. A lost planet, more obsessed with diet pills than the millions of children every year that diarrhea kills. I feel lost like Goldilocks in the forest, but every bowl of porridge I taste is cold and horrid. It's rising in the east and it's setting in the west. There's men running round with bombs on their chest. I'm trying my best, but the world is depressed. We swallow pills to ignore the war on our steps. It's rising in the east and it's setting in the west. There's men running round with bombs on their chest. I'm trying my best, but the world is depressed. We swallow pills to ignore the war on our steps. The juggernaut, cross swords, end up a corpse. Speak in the cold, composed off of ones and noughts. Verbal thunderstorm, I lost sanity. Mick and Mallory, graphically depict reality. I spit for morality, not for my own vanity. I split you mathematically, the rap Butch Cassidy. With mics drawn and a belly full of fantasy. You feel my presence like the pull of gravity. Verbal tapestry, words weaved into fabric. Intravenous, like the needs up and out. They squeeze in the track till it bleeds into static. The tactic arachnid, my web is galactic. The fact is, I capture your life in the caption. I rise into action and slice up your fraction. The mic maverick, sinking your battleship. Tune into the revolution as we establish it. And it's setting in the west. There's men running round with bombs on their chest. I'm trying my best, but the world is depressed. We swallow pills to ignore the war on our steps. It's rising in the east and it's setting in the west. There's men running round with bombs on their chest. I'm trying my best, but the world is depressed. We swallow pills to ignore the war on our steps. It's rising in the east and it's setting in the west. There's men running round with bombs on their chest. I'm trying my best, but the world is depressed. We swallow pills to ignore the war on our steps. It's rising in the east and it's setting in the west. There's men running round with bombs on their chest. I'm trying my best, but the world is depressed. We swallow pills to ignore the war on our steps.
Maybe the human race deserves to be wiped out.